That's perfect.
Hit it.
Hey, welcome to Chicks Outside the Box. This week we have an endearing soul who is ignoring the naysayers that being his authentic self won't lead him to a Grammy. Please join me in welcoming Solomon to the show. As a special treat, we are featuring Solomon's music on Good Vibrations. Will the chicks feel the vibe or give it a short circuit? I'm Kessie. I don't do this show alone. My fellow host, Neka, and our producer, Ronnie B, join me each week. Good evening, team.
Hey.
Before we start our interview with Solomon, I'm turning the mic over to Ronnie B for words of wellness.
Thank you, Kessie. Thank you. And wow. Enjoy the unenjoyable. Whatever you must do, go ahead and do it. Stop wasting your time and energy putting it off or overthinking it. You may not get it perfect, yet you can get it done. It may not be the most pleasant experience you've ever had, but you'll certainly survive. And in fact, the more unpleasant it is, the better you'll feel when you get it over with. Enjoy getting the unenjoyable stuff done and discover there's nothing that can stop you. And wow, enjoy the unenjoyable. And it's like, wow, who wants to enjoy the unenjoyable? And what I got present to, what I see possible is that when you're really being in reality, you're handling what's right in front of you. No distractions. So, it's like they got this commercial where they have Patrick Mahomes and it's a deodorant commercial. And he goes, I do 100% of such and such. I eat 100% of my green beans. 100% don't like them. 100% don't care. There's like that kind of power. Like, hey, I'm committed to something. So it's not about my enjoyment, which is distinct from, I gotta suffer. We're not talking about suffering, but those aspects that build you are, oftentimes they're the most unenjoyable things in the moment. So what I see possible is handling what's right in front of me, no distractions. And with that, over to Neka for our opening interview with Solomon.
Hi, Solomon. I'm Neka. Nice to meet you. And Ronnie, I really, really want to say I needed those words of wellness this week. That was really, really, really amazing because it really is true, especially for those of us that procrastinate. I am the queen. Even though I coach people on not procrastinating, I do it really, really well. So that was really good that you tapped into that energy, and was able to pick that up. So thanks, Solomon, for being our guest tonight. We're going to learn a little bit about Solomon and a challenge he faced regarding his well-being that could have knocked him out of the game, but somehow he made it through and is stronger today. Remember, well-being can be physical, mental, spiritual, or even financial. So let's get started. Solomon, you ready?
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me, by the way. I'm so excited to be here right now.
We're excited to have you. Can you share a time when you faced a challenge to your well-being and the impact it was having on your career or your life in general?
Yeah, of course. It's a little personal, but I like being open just because it helps people understand it and empathize, which is the whole purpose of me making music. So one of the hardest things I've faced in life, one of the biggest challenges in my career and just life in general would have to be my battle with alcoholism. I used to be an alcoholic. I really struggled with reality, just putting it shorthanded there. Just And it really took a toll on my creative drive and my ability to kind of manage myself and my career. You know, it gave room for those lingering doubts and the negativity within my brain to kind of seep in and kind of take over and throw me in that abyss in a way. But I was able to bounce back. I'm happy to say I'm 15 months sober. But
Congratulations.
I appreciate that. But getting sober was the journey as well, as kind of just coming back to reality, you know, having to find who I am all over again, because being an alcoholic, that was a totally different me. And when you're succumbing to that sort of substance abuse, you also stop growing. So I was 17 years old in my head for the longest, and kind of having to grow, and music definitely was there for me. And if anything, it helped me connect to my music more and find more meaning into it, because it gave me a chance to express myself, and it sort of gave me that meaning, that sort of anchor to ground me in reality, I would say, and kind of find my place here again. So I would say that would be the biggest challenge I've faced thus far, and face every day for that matter.
Okay. Wow.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, I really appreciate you sharing that. That was very
Listening, it's a little winded. But
very deep. Yeah. That was really, really interesting. And I think I love the fact that you were able to connect and have insight into how, you know, what you went through, how it affected your creativity. But that same thing, that same wheel brought you back and allowed you to be clearer and deeper and reflective in your music. That's pretty impressive. I really like the fact that, you know, you share that and talk about that, and you can hear it in some of your lyrics. But we'll get to that a little bit later on. And I love the fact that you said that you were able to find, you know, who you are, because that's true. When you become dependent on substances to kind of mask the pain and mask what you're going through, you kind of go into hiding. So you really don't know the real you. And I love the fact that you said, you know, you were stuck at 17 for a long time. So when you finally became sober, you had to kind of grow up and realize, okay, there's a lot of maturing that I have to do. And the fact that you've gained all of this wisdom and insight, you know, in a short period of time is pretty amazing. I am really, really, you know, impressed that you were able to accomplish that. And I hope you feel, you know, proud of yourself for all that you've managed to accomplish. I know when we were let me speak for myself. But being younger in, you know, our 20s, I think a lot of time was spent masking some pain.
Oh yeah.
Right? You mix a few cocktails, and before you know, life's happy, everything's happy, and you get locked into that routine. You wake up, throw up, same thing all over again the next day, right? And you just keep masking that pain. And it's not until you put that down and realize that you've got to deal with those emotions, do you start to have some breakthroughs and allow yourself to get really creative. Do you feel like the music that you produced now, or what you've written now, is definitely more true to who you are? Like you said, finding yourself more. Do you feel like would be true for you?
Oh yeah, definitely a lot more, because my music surrounds around empathy and understanding, whereas living in that sort of that dazed fantasy, I wasn't doing that. I was empathizing with others, but I wasn't trying to let others in or be understood for that matter, kind of being hypocritical. And also along the lines with my vision statement for making music, which is to spread love and happiness while connecting people through music. Can't exactly do that if I'm not exactly happy with my life, or I'm not I'm not acting in self-love in any means. I'm kind of being hypocritical in that sense as well. So now that I am more intact with myself and my values, for that matter, I definitely can execute that vision better in my music, and as well as trying to be understood and empathizing, there's like a whole nother group of people now that I can empathize with through this alcoholism and the things I went through because of that. But it also has brought me back to reality and kind of exposed the humanity in me, I would say, which has helped me have a better idea of how to connect with people within my music.
Nice. So I want to see, during the time that you were dealing with, you know, the challenges that you were facing, you know, the alcoholism, did you make anyone wrong, yourself or the circumstances? And how did the world occur to you during that time?
I wronged a lot of people, I would say, just because, you know, I didn't love myself, and it was kind of hard for me to, like I said, love other people, let other people, and trust people along those lines. So I would often have like a manipulative behavior just to get what I want, whether that was short-term affection, whether that was attention, whether that was more alcohol to numb myself to. It was kind of sort of that, I want to call it a mask, I would say. I was putting on a mask when I was around people because it was me, but not me. I often refer to that era of my life. I talk about that person as Drunk G because my friends used to call me G. So I just kind of separate that from myself, even though now I understand that that was me and is a part of me. I wouldn't change that, but I often dissociate it from that person because wasn't a good guy. he was kind of bad and he hurt some people, but you know, in that pain again, it's helped me understand more about people and myself, and has all worked out for the better to help me learn and have a better understanding of myself in this world we live in.
Wow. So my final question.
I'm getting deep over here tonight. It's Friday.
My final question. When did you see the light of hope and possibility, and what actions did you start taking?
I saw it long before I even got sober, I would say. When I started going to more live concerts and getting involved in that scene, it gave me a feeling of life, I would say, to be around friends that were also passionate about music in that sense, and just go to a place where you can let go of all the things that are worrying you or all the things that are holding you back, and just let go and be free. So that's sort of what initiated it. And it wasn't until I cut drinking out of the cycle. You know, life is all about these cycles, and oftentimes it's about changing the things we don't want to change in order for our life to get better. Kind of reflecting back to what Ronnie said about enjoying the unenjoyable, is kind of making those necessary changes in order to better yourself in life. And that's kind of what I did once I cut drinking out of my life. It helped me focus on the good feelings and the passion that music brought to me, and not even just attending live shows, but music and how it has impacted me, and where I see myself in music and music in my life, and so on.
Okay. I think I don't know, again, I'm just, you know, amazed at your age and the insight you gain, you know, from everything that you've been through in such a short span of time. And does anyone else kind of go, man, you really are amazing in your strength and your resiliency and just determination to be your authentic self and be your true self and really empower yourself to be amazing, right? To find you in all of that you've been through. Has anyone ever else said anything to you like, wow, man?
Not really. I'm not big on praise. I mean, I get told that I'm proud of a lot.
Right.
You know, a lot of people in my life haven't been through what I've been through, but I don't really like to brag about it or anything. It's not something I just throw out there all the time, because I'm not really looking for praise. I feel like I'm not doing anything special per se. I'm just kind of trying to navigate through life just as anybody else is. So
you're doing an awesome job.
I
Awesome.
appreciate you.
and to turn it around so early and get it together and be like, all right, this is what I want to do. This is the music that I want to share. I mean, absolutely amazing. And, you know, if no one has told you, you're amazing.
Appreciate you, seriously.
Yeah. I really, really thank you for sharing, because that is really, really deep to share. And thank you. It was really, really good for us to hear. And someone so young to have that kind of, you know, sincere statements, and just be like, this is where I was, man. This is where I'm going. You can either get on the bus or keep walking back that way, but we're going this way, and I'm taking my music with me. So awesome.
And honestly, for someone at my age, I'm 23. That's young, but that's not old.
No.
It's old, but it's not young, is what I'm trying to say. It is just, so someone from my age, I just want to say it's just good to be heard and understood. So thank you for hearing me out, seriously.
Nice. All right, well, we'll learn more about Solomon later in the show. It's time for Good Vibrations with Ronnie B.
Wow, thank you. Great interview, and thank you for sharing, Solomon. Learned a lot. Thank you. Now, on Good Vibrations, we feature new music and vote whether the track has good vibes or needs to be short-circuited. Now, to Solomon, I got my fingers crossed. Today, we are featuring music from our guest, Solomon. Now, he says his music is about bringing a universal connection to people, one of love. So, DJ, let's hear this first track, and the name of it is Now. That was Now. Let's see what the panel has to say. NECA, does Now have good vibes or is it getting short-circuited?
Definitely good vibes. Definitely good vibes.
Cassie, what are you saying?
Good vibes as well. Good vibes from over here.
All right, Solomon, you're vibing. Well, I'm just coming from a hip place, so it's vibing with me. Solomon, please share something about the creation of Now that surprised you.
On some real talk, I'm surprised it turned out as good as it did, honestly. A little background about it. This was one of the first songs I drafted for my EP. And then the special thing about my EP, by the way, is that it's the first thing I made from scratch. My first EP, got some of the beats off it, most of the beats off of YouTube I found. So this one was really special because I produced it. I wrote all the lyrics. I composed the music. So, and Now was kind of one of those first sort of practice projects, I would say, making the beat. I had just freshly got a cheap 16-key keyboard from Amazon, had cheap equipment, and I had very novice, beginner's level mixing skills. I had just started getting my hands on that sort of stuff in school and getting a better sense of what I was doing rather than just playing around with it. So I'm really surprised that it turned out as good as it did. It could still be better. I've since then have been practicing, getting better with my mixing skills and developing my sound more as far as instrumentals and vocals go, for that matter. So, but for this to be one of those introductory tracks and to still be as good as it as good as it is, and for you guys to be vibing with it, it definitely means a lot. So,
all right, and just briefly, you work with what you got.
Oh yeah,
work. People want to wait until they have everything lined up. You work with what you got. Now we will hear another track from Solomon on Good Vibrations Part 2. But it's, all right, Cassie, go ahead and take it away.
Listen, Solomon, it looks like he have his tongue tied. All right, we really appreciate you being on the show, and I can't wait to get into this part of the interview with you. Are you ready?
Yeah, Cassie, thank you.
All right, so we're going to learn about some of the well-being challenges people face being in the entertainment industry. What is the number one well-being challenge you have had to face as a performer? And please share the impact and actions that you take.
I would say the hardest thing I've faced so far is definitely this pandemic, for sure. It's definitely a setback because I was hoping that this point in my career, I've been making music, making recorded tracks for about 2-3 years now. Is at the point I would want to start doing tours and doing live performances to kind of get my name out there and build my fan bases in different cities and build my demographics. But it's kind of can't do that with social distancing and the whole pandemic going on. So it's kind of putting a damper on the career, and it's also made it harder to stand out as an artist, I would say, because everybody's taking to the internet and digital means to kind of keep their brands alive and to keep their music careers going. And it kind of, with everybody turning to the internet to do so, it kind of makes you work harder to stand out, especially for those artists that are still trying to make a name for themselves.
Which is good, because I think anything that pushes your creativity is a good thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, for me, in the design world, I strive for that. I need something definitely that's going to push me outside the box. So I hear what you're saying about the pandemic, that it really put a damper on it, but it also sounds like it was a good thing that happened.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, because it's definitely pushed me to build my presence online as well, doing an Instagram hoodie giveaway right now. That's something new. I've never thought I would do so soon in my career, at least. Already got some live performances on Facebook under my belt, and we're getting Twitch and Twitch streams and things along those lines. And it I don't know if you've heard of Mark Rubier, but he's known for doing live loop sessions and stuff. And I kind of want to branch off in that sort of field and do some live streaming too, because those are some good opportunities to build on the fan base and get more fans with the large populations that are taking to YouTube and Twitch nowadays, especially with the pandemic going on. So I agree with you there. It's definitely a blessing, and it's pushing me to be proactive and to work around these challenges. It's something I didn't foresee, and it's definitely a challenge at that. So.
All right. Well, when it comes to managing well-being, what sacrifices have you seen others make that may have been misguided or, not really well thought out?
I guess when it comes to just going along the themes of the pandemic, just continue out your everyday life. I see people not caring about their well-being in that sense, like often putting their jobs before their health or before their families because they don't have any other choice. They have to make ends meet at the end of the day. They have to survive at the end of the day. So it's that's kind of one of the things I see challenging people's well-being. It's just having to work and to work so much at that to be able to provide for them and their own. Mm-hmm. I've definitely, I'd say I've personally felt this as well. Having to still go to work day in and day out, knowing that I'm at risk at getting the flu, the COVID-19, and also just knowing I still have to carry out my life as if it were normal, just to get things done. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, I'm at a loss for words right now, but that's basically the gist of it.
No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. A lot of people, us included, have to make a lot of sacrifices to be places that we don't want to be and do things you don't want to do for the greater good then.
Like, having to take those risks that, this quarantine hasn't been good for my mental health. I'm guessing it hasn't been good for a large majority of people's as well. So having to keep mental well-being good too. I've taking risks and going to the gym or going out and going for walks or going to public places where I may be exposed to people that may have it or things along those lines. So yeah, definitely being limited to the things people can and can't do and the risks they're willing to take in order to keep their mental health in line as well.
Yeah, which was important. And the good thing is when you got to the gym, not many people were there. So I don't know about you, but most of the gyms, our gym was empty. So I was like, yes, best time to work out ever. Or, someone who recently took a self-care birthday trip. They got there and it was just fabulous because there was no one in the pool. There was no one there. It was just them. So a lot of, maintaining, well-being and mental health was able to be done. Mm-hmm. Would you say you accomplished that? Mm-hmm. Without throwing you under the bus? That was you. Put your business in the streets.
Right. All right. So you're in a challenging business when it comes to your well-being. Where do you draw the line? Like, when is enough enough? Like, when do you draw the line?
I feel when I try to be I try to live as true to my values and myself as I can. And if I feel like that's being compromised in any way, I feel like that's where I would draw the line, because I typically try to be open-minded and I try to take everybody's opinions and their values and their beliefs into my am conducting myself. So I'm sorry, I kind of lost myself there. But
You know,
definitely whenever I feel my values are being compromised or myself, that's when I would draw the line.
okay.
So when you feel like your own well-being is being compromised, that's when you're like, okay, this is not going to work out for me. I'm good.
My well-being and my creativity, for that matter. I am very, I would say, not even just proud, but I am, when it comes to my creativity and my intellectual property, I'm very serious in that being mine. And so in terms of like the music industry, whenever someone's challenging my creativity, whether that's wanting me to change my image or for me to change my music in any way, I feel like that's an example of where I would draw the line.
Mm-hmm.
Being protective. Okay. Makes sense. Sounds good.
Well, Solomon, I appreciate you sharing all of this. It's very insightful, and it's always good to get a second opinion. It's always good to hear someone else's opinion on the industry and, what they value.
I definitely agree. Thank you, ladies.
All right. So it's time for another visit to Good Vibrations. Ron.
Welcome back to Good Vibrations, where we have another track from Solomon. Now, Solomon, the ladies fell in love with that first track. So I hate to see you go downhill, brother. So DJ, let's hear I See It. That was I See It. Cassie, good vibes or a short circuit?
Good vibes.
All righty, some good vibes. NECA, the verdict.
Very good vibes. I really liked it. Yeah.
All right. I say, like I said, I'm coming from a hip place. I'm giving it some good vibes. Thank you, Mr. Solomon, for letting us feature your music. How can our listeners keep up with you?
Yep. Everything you need to see, you can find it on my Instagram at King Solomon Gray. That's KingSolomonGray.
King Solomon Gray. Now, we're going to hear a little more from Solomon in the finale, but right now, it's time for NECA. And guess what she has? Our weekly butt kick actions for energy empowerment. Over to you, NECA.
Thank you, Ronnie. So each week, I'm going to give you 4 actions to take that will empower your energy. It can take the form of mental, spiritual, physical, or even financial energy. Last week, we focused on actions for clearing the space for energy to flow powerfully. Many times we feel a lack of energy because we have spiritual and mental blocks to the flow of energy manifesting powerfully. Once we remove those barriers and take actions in the physical world, we tap into an unlimited supply of energy and abundance. Here are a few responses from the community. So Angela in Little Rock, Arkansas. Sister Chicks, I love the show. It was interesting and it kept going. There was never a dull moment. Jay Israel was sweet. I did the homework and found $1,500 in an envelope under all my clutter from 6 months ago. It was a payment from a customer and sitting right on my desk. Lord knows I needed the money. Thank you. Jacques from Montreal, Canada says, Dear Chicks, I tend to be cynical of people in the music industry. I'm glad you had Brother Jay on the show. Years ago, my niece was killed by her boyfriend and my faith in God went out the window. Doing the first action, cleaning stuff up, was easy. So I thought I learned the remaining actions was the real cleanup in aisle 7. The guy who killed my niece is in prison and I resent every part of him. She was beautiful and kind, the daughter I never had. And this thing of a man killed her. Then it hit me like a ton of bricks. Holding on to that resentment was letting him kill me every day. He killed my niece, and I'm letting him kill me. He doesn't know it, and I'm the one giving him permission. It's all in my mind. I see from the actions like Brother Jay, I've been resenting God. I'm forgiving myself and asking God to forgive me. Thank you, Chicks. Teresa from Honolulu, Hawaii. Chicks Outside the Box has piqued my interest. I like the chicks and how well everything flows. It has a nice pace. It kept my interest to the end. I especially like the words from Eshe at the beginning of the show. I beat myself up all the time, and it's time to stop. Eshe is amazing. Her words are rich. The chicks and I thank you for sharing with us. Please feel free to reach out and share. We are doing the work ourselves.
Like clearing that also.
Definitely clearing the clutter, clearing a lot of clutter. And would anyone like to share? Please continue the actions you started for one more week.
Well, briefly, didn't you just ask a question?
Oh, would anyone like to share? Oh, we're talking to the viewers.
That would be it. The answer can be no. That's acceptable. You just don't want to run past the question. But I will share this. That really
the reviews were good.
Part of what I saw out of because we're all doing the work, and as I started to move clutter out, what I saw was how much I use clutter as a reason not to focus on what I need to get done.
All the time.
So that, you know, so that's one thing I saw for myself. And back to you, ladies.
But going back to that point, it's true. You know, you ever find yourself?
Is that what you saw for yourself? It said, please share what you got out of the exercise. You don't have to agree with what I said. What did you get?
No, I'm just saying it's true. Listen, it's like when you have something to do, right? You have something on your plate, you know you have to go get it done, and you pick up a sponge and you start cleaning. Because sometimes, you know,
you need to clear the space to start.
You need to clear the space.
So as you were cleaning out the clutter, what did you see?
When I was cleaning out the clutter, I saw that it was time for me to get back and do what I needed to do.
Oh, okay. Hey. See, Solomon, it took you on to get some straight conversation. But back to you ladies, because I know y'all got a schedule to meet.
Please continue the actions you started for 1 week. I'm sorry. Please continue the actions you started for 1 more week. We want to get all that clutter out of your space and hopefully find some more money. The butt kick actions for energy empowerment are: action number 1, clean your house, your computer, files, text messages, emails, anything where there is clutter, like your desk, anything, you know, where you find that there's clutter about the little side where you know, your little junk drawer. Get that, clean it, get it out. Action number 2, again, make a list of 10 people, groups, or organizations where you have upsets or hold resentments. I think this one just kind of like,
it comes back again.
It drives. And then every time I'm like, oh, this really does. And then I'm like, oh, I let everything go. I did that last week. And the week happens and I'm like, oh, I guess I really didn't
let it go. Didn't let it go.
Still holding on to some resentments. So it's important that we, you know, continue to be mindful that, you know, we're doing this and the work that we're doing, you know, in the cleaning and the actions that we're taking, because it's only going to empower us.
I let go of a resentment.
You have a little resentment?
No, I said I let go of a resentment.
You let go of a resentment.
Right. Well, you know, the important thing is taking action. Otherwise, it's disinformation. But I'd let go of an old resentment. I had actually, and Solomon, this is just so perfect. I resented my older cousin for being an alcoholic.
Oh, wow.
I let that go. And, you know, because, you know, part of it and the thing was, you know, he was irresponsible. His parents have gotten old and elderly, and everybody else is having to take care of him, you know, take care of his parents. Well, he died. And I resented him to his grave. Wow. You know, so, you know, but just to say, you know, to live, that's the kind of work we're doing. What did you do? What you get? Back to you, Nick.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. That was really,
you know, hey, boom, we can just do it, baby.
Okay, so another action that you want to do, action number 3, make a list of 3 situations where you fell short and have not forgiven yourself or lack freedom. Does that ring true for anyone in this room?
I mean, for me, no, I've forgiven myself. There's others I need to work on. It's that action 2 I need to work on. It's the 10 people I need to work on.
You know how this action is also really, really good as well too, is that I think sometimes you complete.
Hey, Mecca, let's not explain to people. Okay, what was one of your situations? Where you fell short and you hadn't forgiven yourself?
I hope so, because I'm really trying.
Alexis is cold, are you right?
But you know, listeners, just want to say this. And a lot of listeners are, they've been around Old Grumpy Radio Network, so they kind of get the deal here. We're all in this together. So Mecca, Kessie, and Solomon, we're all being trained. Right. So the answer to that would be that, hey, this is the situation I saw where I fell short and I hadn't forgiven myself. So ladies, we know next week y'all are going to be prepared to share, right?
If not, Alexa will share for us.
That's hoping. That's so you can wrap up your segment.
Alexa's like, well, I can tell you one time.
I'm going to tell all of Ronnie's business. Oh, this is the best. Wow. Okay. Well, since Alexa's sharing Ronnie's business, I guess so we're still working on that. We're still working on forgiving and keeping it moving. I think I guess my share would be dieting and losing weight and actually wanting to do it. Been trying to do it for, how old is my oldest? 22 years. So I keep falling short, but I am 5'2", so that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it.
Hey.
So yeah, and I think that I need to forgive myself for not, prioritizing it and now getting on the bandwagon and moving on so that I can have the empowerment to do what I need to do and keep it moving and get my mojo back.
Wow. I could give you a better one.
Go for it.
Okay. Forgive yourself for making yourself wrong about your weight.
That one's hard.
Like, how about you're actually perfect, since you are kind of cute? How about you're actually perfect? How about you're actually perfect?
I tell her that all the time.
Yeah,
It's just a self, Sometimes you have an image of what you
just
think.
So modest. She's just so modest. That's what. She's just so modest.
I tell her all the time. I'm like, listen.
We're working.
As a producer, take control of your segment and wrap it on up.
All right. Okay. Also, action number 4, contact the people on your list who need forgiveness the most and forgive them. Most importantly,
Forgive yourself.
Okay, Ronnie, we're going to take some of that advice home. Forgive yourself. So the action number 4, forgive yourself. All right. So that you can move forward. Our entire team is doing the work, including Ronnie. Okay.
And we'll share
we definitely will share our results on the next episode. So come on back. Let's see if I've forgiven myself and definitely if I lost some weight and put down the fried chicken, but it's okay. I'm getting there. It's time for Kessie with the finale. Kessie, over to you.
Thank you, Nicole. Time for the final whoop whoop. Solomon, one final question for you. If you had a magic wand and you can change one thing for the better, what would that one thing be?
Well, I want to say world peace, but it ain't that easy, I feel. So I guess the next best thing would be waving the wand and having everybody, man and animal, like have a place they can go home to with food and someone that cares about them every night. So, that's the next best thing till I can find an answer for world peace.
Love that.
Just on my shoulder. It's just me until we find the answer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely love that. And I think that it's important that we see the bigger picture.
Always.
Love it. Now, again, can you share how our listeners can follow you and keep up to date with you? Feel free to shout out your peeps.
Oh yeah, I got you. So best way to find me, all my links, all my music is going to be Instagram at King Solomon Gray, KingSolomonGray. Or I also got a Facebook page. It's just Solomon there, SOLOMON. And then, what was the second part of that question? My bad.
Shout out your peeps.
Oh, yeah. I can't forget my peeps. Hey, shout out to all my boys. Got Next coming up. Got Shane. Got Tyler. Got Randy. Got all my friends at Starbucks. Hey, much love, everybody. Thanks for making me who I am.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Solomon. Nicole, over to you.
So as we conclude our show, I want to leave you with some words. If what you thought to be true turned out not to be true, when would you want to know? Chicks Outside the Box. Thanks for listening.